If your dental clinic is not growing the way that you want, this video is for you. A lot of dentists are working hard and they're seeing patients. In fact, they're probably seeing too many patients, but they're still feeling like the practice is not actually moving in the direction that they want it to move in. And that is a very different problem because being busy and actually growing are not the same thing. And that's what this video is about. How to actually grow your clinic and not trap yourself into that busyness. And the biggest mistake most clinic owners make is that they think they need one more thing to finally grow, one more better ad, better SEO, another associate, a scanner, a bigger office, whatever it is, some new service that they can add. And don't get me wrong, all of those things can help if they're done properly. And truthfully, they only need to be done in one way or another, right? Like marketing matters, technology matters, clinical skill matters. But what I realized after scaling our own clinic and then helping others scale their clinics is that most practices are not stuck because they're missing like this one magic thing. They are struggling or they're stuck because the owner has a vision, but they're not executing. They're not consistent enough to make that vision real. Let me repeat that. What you're doing to make your dream or your vision a thing isn't working. You're not constantly putting in the work towards that vision. So in this video, I want to break it down, what it really takes to grow your dental clinic. And I want to talk about the bare basic foundational stuff. The discipline, the execution, the focus, the ability to look at your practice like a system and know exactly where you need to pull these levers, because that is what actually is going to grow a clinic over time. And the first thing is this: vision is easy. Dreams are easy. Execution is the hard part. Like any goal in life, it's easy to make a goal that I want to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, by the end of 2026, or have this type of body, but actually executing that is a whole other endeavor, right? A lot of dentists have some type of a vision, and you'd be surprised how many don't as well. But anyways, that's another story. You want more new patients, for example. You want more cases and you want to do more implants, more Invisalign, more veneers, more whatever it is. You may want to get out of insurance too. And you want to go full fee for service, work fewer clinical days. You may want a better team. You may want a practice that doesn't feel like it's hectic or chaotic every single day. That part is easy to say. It feels good to imagine that version of your clinic where everything is running how you want it, smoothly in the cases that you want are coming in consistently, okay? But that vision does nothing by itself, right? It sounds silly, but yeah, no shit, Chris. But you'd be surprised how many dentists have these ambitions, but they're not doing anything about it. The practice doesn't grow because you have a nice idea. The practice grows when you execute on the boring things that support that idea every single week. And that is where most dentists start to fall off. Rarely do dentists think like, who is the patient you are trying to attract? What are they seeing online before they ever call you? What happens when they call you? How does your team answer the phone calls? Do they trust you when they come in? Do they understand the value that you're communicating? Does your treatment coordinator know how to guide them through the entire process and the financial process? Do you even have a treatment coordinator? Do you have a follow-up system in place that they don't schedule? How are you doing all these things? And this is where a lot of clinics struggle. They say that they want more bigger cases, but nothing supports actually getting those bigger cases. They say that they want more implants, but the team does not know how to talk about implants to patients. They say that they want higher case acceptance, but nobody's reviewing the treatment presentation process, for example. And that is why execution, doing the work, matters so much. And honestly, this is where a lot of dentists confuse being busy with being productive. You can work a full day and see a bunch of patients, answer like 20 questions, deal with staff issues, talk to a rep, do your lab work, whatever it is, respond to emails, and you can feel exhausted. But did the practice move closer to your end goal, to your vision? Because those are two completely different things. A lot of the things that eat your day are urgent, but they're not always the highest leverage things that you could be doing to achieve your vision. So the first question that I would ask any clinic owner that is watching this video this far is, what are you actually trying to build? And what are you doing every single week to make that real? Not once in a while, not when you feel like it. Every single week, what are you doing? Because vision without execution just turns into frustration and ultimately turns into nothing. And that is what a lot of owners are feeling. They know the practice, it could be better, but the day-to-day execution has not caught up with what they want to accomplish, okay? And the second part is, you have to stop relying on motivation. Motivation is great when you have the motivation, but it's not dependable. Again, going back to the gym example, you can be motivated for even up to a month, but motivation isn't going to help you months and years and when it's raining. Every dentist knows this feeling. You go to a CE course, you watch a video, you talk to another dentist, they're doing great. You get fired up. You come back to the office and you want to change everything. And you want to change maybe the marketing, you want to change your workflows, your phones, your consults, your schedules, whatever it is. You just want to change it all, everything. And for a few days or maybe a couple weeks, you do some bits and pieces of it. But then real life comes back and you're tired and you get behind. You finish at 6 p.m., the motivation starts to fade. And when the motivation fades, the plan fades too. And that is the problem. If your practice only grows when you feel motivated, your growth is always going to be capped or inconsistent. And this is why discipline matters more than motivation. And the daily habits that you create and the self-discipline for yourself. Motivation might get you started, okay? Discipline is doing everything that I talked about, even when you don't feel like doing it, or even when it feels like it's not the right time. Discipline is training your treatment coordinator when you would rather be home with your kids. Discipline is creating content like this, even when you suck at first or you don't like being in front of the camera like I used to be. Discipline is having a difficult team member conversation instead of avoiding it. And this is especially important in dentistry because the clinical day takes so much out of you. After seeing patients all day, it's easy to say, I'm just going to work on the business another day. I'm going to work on it later. But usually that later never comes. Next week becomes next month, then 6 months go by, and then the same issues are still there. You're still in the same spot. And you don't want to be the clinic that waits until something feels broken to then try to fix that something. Production drops. Then you look at the numbers, what can I do about it? Leads slow down, and then you start caring about marketing. That is not how you build a strong clinic. A strong clinic has systems that are reviewed consistently. And the third part is focus. Focus is the multiplier here. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons practice owners stay stuck. It is not that they are lazy, or a lot of dentists are the exact opposite. And I've talked about this in previous videos, even in my last video. Dentists are ambitious, they're hardworking, they're willing to do a lot of shit, but their energy is spread across too many things. And when your focus is split in like 20 different directions, nothing gets done, okay? And this is why the practice can feel like there's a lot happening, but not much is actually changing. For example, let's say that you want to grow your cosmetic cases. You could spend your time on making random posts, changing logos, buying new equipment, new burrs, talking to like different services, whatever it is, different labs. Or you could focus on the cosmetic patient journey from the beginning to the end. Audit that. What does the patient see online? What videos are you building trust with? What photos do they see? How does the team answer the first call? How is the consultation process scheduled? How are the financials presented? How do we get testimonials? How do we make the patient trust us before they even come in so they can move forward easier? Now, imagine the discipline that you need to make all of these things work. The same thing applies if your bottleneck is Invisalign or new patient conversions or treatment planning or reactivation. It's not just cosmetic work. The point is that not every clinic needs the same focus. The point is that you need to know what your focus is in the first place. And this is also where saying no becomes important. You cannot chase every idea that there is. You cannot, and you should not, implement everything from every course. There has to be a priority to this. Maybe this quarter your priority is new patient conversions. Maybe it's front desk training. Maybe it's the new patient experience. Maybe it's improving your content, videos. Maybe it's building better follow-up systems for your team, whatever it is. But you need to stay with it long enough for it to actually work and then compound. The fourth part is your practice is a grid. And that is probably the best way to think about it from a business perspective, a grid, okay? Your practice is not just one big circle. It's not just marketing. It's not just the doctor. It's not just your team. It's a system of interconnected parts and boxes. Online presence, your ads, your website, Google reviews, your phones, your scheduling, your new patient experience, diagnosis, treatment planning, financial presentation, handoffs, financial conversations, your follow-up, everything, your hygiene department, your overhead, your referrals, your collections, your profit. All of these things are connected to each other. And because they're connected, one weak area can start to affect everything else. If your marketing is strong, but your phones are weak, you're wasting money. You're wasting opportunities. If your phones are strong, but the consult experience and the in-office experience sucks, you're not going to get the acceptance that you want. Your production is high, but overhead is out of control. Obviously, you're not making money. You're not profiting the amount of money that you should be making. Like, look, you would never look at a patient for like 30 seconds and start randomly treating teeth without understanding what is actually going on here. But clinic owners do this with their business all of the time. They say we need more marketing. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. How do you know? They say I need a better front desk. Maybe you do. Maybe you're not training them properly. Or they say patients are cheap. Maybe some are cheap. But maybe your treatment presentation is not connecting the treatment to the outcome that the patient actually cares about. Okay? And this is where metrics become important. You can't run your practice only based on feelings. Feelings obviously matter, gut feelings matter, but they're not enough. You need to know what is actually happening. Then you can focus your energy there. And that is how growth becomes more predictable. You go from we just need more patients to fine-tuning every system, because the real issue is not more patients, it's the whole patient journey and you suck at it. You start making better decisions because you're looking at the system better. So if I had to summarize this entire video, it would be this. Growing a dental practice is not about finding something or this one pill or this magic solution, one script, one course, one piece of technology, nothing like that. Those things can help, but they can only work when the dentist has the discipline to execute and the focus and the energy is in the right place. You need to be clear, you need to be disciplined, focused, systematic, and the practice is going to reflect that. So look at your clinic this week and ask yourself a few questions. Do we actually have a clear vision? First of all, are we executing every week, or are we only working on the business when we feel motivated? And if we looked at the practice like a grid, what is the biggest bottleneck right now? Just find one thing. And that is what we help clinic owners with think through in Clinical Climb. We realize how important it is through working with so many clinics. And we look at the practice from the outside, from another perspective. We audit your patient journey, find the leaks, figure out what needs to be fixed first so you can grow without constantly adding more BS to the business, or looking at more KPIs, or adding sealants, or whatever it is. If you want us to take a look at your clinic, DM me on Instagram at Dr. Chris Bano with the word audit, and I'll see you in the next one.